Claims approval, looks like we have 3 claims totaling $11,420. Has everybody had a chance to review those? Any questions or comments?
Make a motion to approve. Second.
All those in favor? Next up, monthly financial report.
Yes, sir. Well, good to see y'all again. And take you through this month's update. The one thing that I've added into here for you guys that I'll also go over once I do the April reporting requirements with you is that page outlining all the reporting requirements for the year. Decided to throw that into your monthly report so you guys can just kind of keep track of that as we go out throughout the year and knock all those out. For this month, you guys' TIF balances between all the areas are sitting at $1.12 million with $113,000 in revenue so far and $701,000 in expenses. The revenues being from grant dollars for the Hanover Connector Trail Phase 1 and your rental income. That is it for this month's update. Only a couple claims on there this time.
Any questions about the update? We want to go ahead and jump into the April reporting requirement, or we want to circle back to that?
We can go ahead if you have no problem with doing how I'm sure we can certainly go through that.
Good with me? Yeah. Well, welcome to another round of reporting requirements starting. We're going to go ahead and knock out your April reporting requirements this meeting. You'll see on page 3 of those reporting requirement document I gave you guys. There at the top, under the 2025 reports for fiscal year 24, that prior to April 1st paragraph there, that's what we're knocking out today. And then after this, no later than April 15th, we'll make sure this gets sent to council and gets submitted to Gateway, and then that'll be it for this. Then, of course, like I said, you'll have the rest of them there listed below that we'll be knocking out throughout this year. Moving on, the next couple of pages are things you'll see on your monthly update. Nothing has changed there. That's just showing 2024 information. And pages 6 through 12, those are going to be each of the individual TIF funds you guys have. It'll have their ending year of 24 revenues, expenditures, and balance that each of the funds ended at for the year. Pages 6 through 12 will be all of those, so you guys can take a look at. You'll have your debt overview on page 13 with the expected amounts you guys were supposed to pay and how much was paid for each of your debts. Pages 14 and on will be all the parcel lists.
We don't have copies.
Oh yeah, I can grab you guys.
The April reporting copy, I don't have that.
Thank you.
Thanks. Sorry about that. I just realized. And this is the document that will be uploaded to Gateway, correct?
Yeah. We'll upload this whole thing on there.
And then this is the document we give to City Council as well.
Friday, April 15th. But yeah, this report is just showing all of your guys' year-ending info from 24. Unless you guys have any questions, that's all there is to it.
The decrement process we went through last year, we won't do that again this year until 20, right? We'll do that again. We do that every other year, right, on the parcel evaluations?
Yeah, we'll look at it as you guys want us to.
Okay.
Just make sure everything's good to go. Especially come neutralizations, we'll be going through those parcel by parcel. So.
Yeah, we just need approval of the April reporting requirement document.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. In front of you, you will see Resolution 2025-1-R. It's a preliminary bond resolution of the City of Madison Redevelopment Commission. This is to start the process for funding a $4.9 million bond to fund, as the document states, various housing projects and quality of life projects associated with our redevelopment plan. I believe in your packet, there was, the bond analysis was in your packet, which shows about a $4.7 million net funding proceeds. And then you'll also see a list of projects and their expected amounts of investment. Happy to answer any questions associated with that. And there's also the issuance of redevelopment district bond calendar that'll show the notices as well as the other city council and redevelopment commission meetings to take this action over the next 2 months. Mayor, you want to?
Yeah, I was to add that we've called this particular project a few things, but it's been on our radar probably 2 years relative to anticipating the expiration of the North Madison allocation area and the need to optimize the revenue stream over the next 10 years from that allocation area before it expires. And so we've talked about it a lot, and then we've given some projections through the Reedy Financial Report, always knowing that it's going to culminate into a financing like we've done before that would allow us to make some pretty significant investments in housing and infrastructure and parks. So a lot of planning is we've been underway in a lot of the planning aspect of all those. And now we're finally to the financing stage, and this is the beginning of the whole process for the financing of issuing the bond that's repaid from the revenues of that particular TIF allocation area. And you'll see here where the projects is infrastructure for the bond, Jefferson Street development, contribution toward the housing development, and then also the Hilltop housing plan. If you remember, we have 3 kind of areas where we're doing the housing. Downtown, the other housing is Sunrise Residence at Sunrise Crossing. We've already took care of the financial support for that project in the TIF bond we did for Sunrise Crossing. And then the placemaking parks investments, Welch Park, and then the amphitheater. And we have Ready 2.0 grant monies for the 2 downtown projects, the amphitheater and the housing development. And then the Hilltop housing development, we will be acquiring property and working with developer partners to bring that single-family housing initiative to fruition. So this is all of the financing that is the prelude to getting those initiatives, those redevelopment opportunities implemented, and leveraging this $4.7 million. So this $4.7 million will turn out to be $100 million, candidly, when you look at the grant money we're getting for the amphitheater and for the downtown housing project, the private investment for the downtown housing project, the $24 million private investment for the Sunrise, residence at Sunrise Crossing development, and then the single-family residential development on the Hilltop. It literally will be about $100 million that these dollars will leverage into, which is phenomenal for us. Not to say there won't be additional funding along the way that we'll need to put in from our annual TIF revenues, but this is the catalyst that's going to get it all started. And hopefully you feel like we've done a pretty good job talking about it repeatedly, but us actually putting the plan in place as well as the calendar for making its way through redevelopment commission and planning. I'm not planning, but city council for the final approval of the bonds, and then closing in late spring, early summer.
I will remind the commissioners that as a part of the consolidated TIF capital plan, the future outlook, we did include the repayment of the 24B RDC capital bond series 2022. That's in here, and you'll see those payments going and projected out for this. We are currently working on a number of parallel tracks with the financing, both with the Jefferson Street Housing Project as well as the Hilltop Project. Both are working through a series of economic development agreements and other project-specific related dialogues about style and dollars and infrastructure investment. And so we will be bringing additional economic development agreements to the commission here in the next meeting or two, certainly by June. We hope to have both those projects in a state of having some conversation with you as a part of those economic development agreements. But we wanted to get the financing and the funding started as well, so we can hit the ground running. Our hope is that we could be turning dirt this fall. On
August, maybe?
August, maybe.
August, maybe.
I
August
said
would be a
October yesterday, and I said August. I thought I said October, but we hope to be able to announce and turn some dirt yet this fall on a single-family housing development on the Hilltop with some development partners that we feel really good about that we've been talking to. So could be an exciting year for us that would round out our housing strategy. And those single-family homes would be, entry-level to $250 to on up to $500,000 houses in that kind of development. So
We're committed to multifaceted housing options at different price points with a real focus on entry-level, single-family construction as a gap that's in our community, has existed for a while. And don't get me wrong, this is part of the equation. There's a lot of work to do here. We're talking about zoning, property acquisition, economic development agreements. It's very complicated because of all the moving parts to it. And this is one of the most critical parts, which is the financing piece. But a lot of other groundwork has to happen in order for the plan to come together that we've been formulating.
thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah, we're really excited to be able to kickstart here the Bicentennial Park Amphitheater project with a recommendation for you to hire studio access and theater project groups to walk us through the master planning, programming, and conceptual designs, and working with a local steering committee. That steering committee, I believe, is in your packet as well. That would include Carrie Strauss, a member of the RDC, also a neighbor, Trevor Crafton, who's president of the Jefferson County Board of Tourism, Andrew Forrester of Visit Madison, Inc., Kim Nyberg with the Madison Area Arts Alliance, and Todd Boone with the Madison Music Movement. We've also identified a number of other committee members that would assist with some input on the concept and planning for this. This is, again, as Bob said, a very complex project. To understand what we think the market will bear for us, as well as to make sure we understand the community's wishes and desires. There's also other things as a part of this planning process outside of just architectural, contextual stuff. It includes a maintenance plan. It will also include a programming and funding plan for its ongoing operations. So all of those things, again, will start to run in parallel track, but this is the first step to be able to get Studio Access, who designed the White River State Park Amphitheater, who's designing the Shelbyville Amphitheater, and who's designing East Chicago's amphitheater, along with theater project groups, which I've worked with before to help us through that process. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer those about the proposed proposal in front of you, and your approval today would be much appreciated. The approval is to accept the proposal to hire studio access and theater project groups for their contract amount for programming and conceptual design of $60,000. I don't think so. You're representing this group on the steering committee. I would turn to Joe
Yeah. We look at it as you're a representative of Redevelopment Commission on
on the steering committee.
Entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the, fixed fee of $60,000 for National Land Study. Second.
All those in favor?
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Yes, thank you. I guess first I'll update you on the redevelopment of the Main Street corridor we've talked about, which is part of our redevelopment plan and Redevelopment Commission's contributions toward Main Street. City of Madison has created a Main Street master plan. And our goal is over the course of the next 3 years, begin the reconstruction of the Main Street corridor. We'll get 75% of it completed. We were notified on February 28th that we did receive the largest CCMG grant that we've ever applied for, $1.5 million. That'll be added in with the City of Madison match money, Redevelopment Commission money, 2 public safety grants. We'll have a minimum of about a $4 million project this year that'll be focused on the restoration of Main Street. As you know, we took over that corridor from the state of Indiana, INDOT, in 2020, based on an agreement signed in 2014. So we're really happy to finally get started on that. Again, still a lot of work to do, but over the course of the next 45 days approximately, we will be completing the design, bid work on it, awarding a bid, and assigning a contractor to get the work started by midsummer. So happy to report that. Yesterday, the triumvirate here appeared in front of the Jefferson County Alcoholic Beverage Commission, and we have applied for another 3-way liquor license to be used as a recruiting tool for a Hilltop restaurant, which we've been working on being located all from the very, very beginning at Sunrise Crossing. So we did get approval from the Jefferson County ABC yesterday, and now that will go to the state of Indiana, what's it called? Alcohol ATC for approval by their board on March the 18th, I believe. And we're working with our developer partners at Sunrise Crossing for the recruitment of a sit-down restaurant there. Prospects are looking very good. Traffic through Sunrise Crossing continues to be extremely strong. And now with the groundbreaking and the beginning of construction for residents at Sunrise Crossing, we're going to have even more density in that area, which I think will prove well in the recruitment of a sit-down restaurant. So a lot to report on throughout the course of the rest of the city, but I'll stop there and answer any questions that you might have. But housing, infrastructure, placemaking continue to be our 3 primary goals, and Redevelopment Commission has had a very critical role in accomplishing all 3 of those things, and they're in our plan. What we'll probably bring back in the April Redevelopment Commission is a resolution to adopt an amendment to our redevelopment plan. As you know, everything we do is based on a redevelopment plan that has come through the Redevelopment Commission, the Planning Commission, the City Council, and internally, that helps us target where our resources go. And we do not have a specific housing initiative in the redevelopment plan that is consistent with where we're going to be making housing investments. And so we're going to amend the plan to accomplish that. So that'll hit your desks and agenda for the April meeting. But that's also a necessary process in issuance of the bonds and making co-investments with developer partners in housing.
Well, again, a lot of parallel tracks. Tom Pittman's working on that, and we'll have that resolution for you as a part of the April meeting. So, as well, hopefully we'll have some announcements for the Hilltop and a couple of restaurants and other economic development opportunities coming up here in the next
Which there are
quarter.
2 restaurants we're working on Hilltop.
Yeah. So we'll hopefully have some announcements here shortly on those. So lots of great opportunities. Again, we continue to get great feedback from what investments have been made on the Hilltop. The city is described to me as being a jewel that no one knew existed when they show up from an economic development sort of site selection process. We have a lot of opportunities. Again, as you well know, the economy continues to be solid. Madison is having attended a IU Southeast Economic Development overview. They continue to see Jefferson County and Southeast Indiana or Southern Indiana with the Clark, Floyd, Jefferson, and Scott counties all in a positive population growth through 2030. That's as far out as they went, basically 5 years, and so they continue to see that. And the steps we're taking, the economist was very complimentary of all the things we're doing. He had spent the night here and will be teaching at Ivy Tech State College, or Ivy Tech here this fall as they expand their business program at Ivy Tech. And he just continues to say the things he's seen and the changes he's seen in the last 5 years certainly does say Madison is on the move. He used that, by the way, Mayor. And so all good positive things we hear from folks coming here to speak and those who come to visit. So thank you again. I would also say to you that there's a magazine. We were quite pleased. We were asked to submit an article. We submitted the article not knowing that we would ultimately be on the cover, and they chose our project to be on the cover of the magazine. And that was a nice compliment as well for Crystal Beach. So again, great project there, and we'll hopefully we're going to be submitting that for a couple awards, both historic preservation awards here in the coming weeks. So.
And it did receive a National Pool Award. You want to talk about that?
I'll let you go ahead and talk about that.
So, about 1 o'clock in the morning a couple weeks ago, I get a text message from Brian Spear, who owns Spear Corporation, and they were the designer of the mechanicals, all the water quality aspects of Crystal Beach. And the reason it was 1 o'clock in the morning, because he was in California, and he and his wife, Christy, were attending the National Conference for
Aquatic equipment.
commercial pools,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And we didn't know this, but Crystal Beach had been nominated for a Commercial Pool of the Year award. And these were projects from all across the country, and it won. And he texted me at 1 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock out there, or 10 o'clock out there, that Crystal Beach won, and sent us information on it. So it continues to really just make be very proud of the Crystal Beach, and we're looking forward to the second season opening up here around May 23rd. It's the catalyst for a lot of what we're doing on our riverfront with our Parks Department, the Ohio River Legacy Park, Amphitheater Bicentennial, Overlook, Welch Park, and the housing development. I mean, it's $1 billion riverfront that we are literally curating the beauty of it, and so we couldn't be prouder. But that was just another example of the investments that we're making through here. They're having a big impact in everything we're talking about: quality of life, economic development, tourism, historic preservation, health and wellness, and the list goes on and on. We're leveraging those dollars up because of the different facets of every project we're doing. So thank you guys for your support on it.
Someone else?
I'll stop there, but the best is yet to come. And if you don't have one, our 1 year overlook,
Oh.
I don't know if you have that.
Oh,
but,
I didn't hand
but
that
the State
out.
of the City, a week or so ago, went phenomenal. And we have a year-end review that we handed out there. We have some here at the door, but we'll give each one of you guys two, because it goes through the different things we did economic development-wise, parks, public safety, our solid waste restructuring, our 6 different ribbon cuttings that we had, and it just tells a good story for 2024. The 3 awards that we received, But that's all creating the momentum heading into 2025. It's phenomenal.
All your projects, yeah, many of the, I think all of the highlighted projects you were involved in, so. Crystal Beach, Port Authority, Ohio Theater, the DG Market, Legacy Park, and then sculptures.
Commission, happy to answer any questions you might have about anything going on around town. If I don't have the answer, somebody in this room probably will, or we'll get it for you.
Anything else for today?
I have the resolution for you guys to sign.